the global cloud infrastructures.
The Kenya National Youth Service will conduct a nationwide recruitment drive for male and female NYS volunteers from Monday the 10th of February 2025 to Saturday the 15th of February 2025. Persons wishing to be enlisted must meet the following conditions: be a Kenyan citizen and resident of the respective sub-county of recruitment, be between the ages of 18 and 24, have a mean grade of D plane and above in KCSE, produce original and photocopies of their national ID and academic certificates, must have a certificate of good conduct, be ready to undergo a medical checkup during and after recruitment, be prepared to undergo rigorous physical training, and be prepared to give voluntary service to the nation in any part of Kenya. Recruitment exercise commences at 800 hours in all recruitment centers. Successful candidates will report for the NYS paramilitary course at the respective NYS college on the dates and time on their calling letters. For further information, visit the NYS website www.nys.go.ke. NYS, huduma kwa taifa.
Good evening and welcome to Easy Friday. I'm Carren, Kibbett. Tonight we begin with the passing of a broadcasting legend, Leonard Mbotela. The iconic voice behind J. Hunyungwana has died at the age of 85. We take a look at his remarkable career and the legacy he leaves behind. Also coming up, we have the latest in business, from market trends to economic developments shaping the weekend in sports. Key highlights from the world of athletics, football, and beyond. Stay with us. Easy Friday starts now. Here are the highlights.
Hatukutarajia kama jambo hili litokea ghafla hivyo, lakini ndivyo ilivyokuwa na tukapokea tu tukimshukuru Mungu kwa yote.
Humor gone with the wind. Leonard Mbotela, he of the J. Hunyungwana radio show fame, is no more.
An order of certiorari is hereby issued, pushing the Honorable Speaker's ruling or determination contained in his communication from the Chair made on 6th October 2022 on the majority and minority party in the National Assembly.
You are out of order. 3 judges tell Speaker Wetangula as they overturn Kenya Kwanza's position as the majority party in the National Assembly.
Hakuna madawa itauzwa Isiolo na mujaribu mutaona.
A vow made in Isiolo. President Ruto commits to decisively deal with the drug barons in Isiolo and Marsabit counties. And where corruption suspects are adored, Bomet Governor Barchok in a heroic return home from a day in the custody of anti-graft detectives. Welcome. This is Easy Friday. Our sign language interpreter this evening is Ann Wangeshi. Now, the media fraternity and the country at large are mourning the death of veteran journalist Leonard Mbotela. According to his family, the 84-year-old has been ailing and was hospitalized for 2 weeks at a Nairobi hospital before succumbing on Friday morning. President William Ruto led Kenyans in mourning Mbotela, saying he will be fondly remembered for his broadcasting prowess and mentorship of young broadcasters.
Friday morning, Kenyans received the sad news of the demise of legendary broadcaster Leonard Mbotela.
Juzi siku ya Jumanne mimi nikarudi nyumbani hapa wakati nilipoona amepata nafuu, sasa anaanza kukula na anafungua macho anazungumza. Nikaona nirudi nyumbani nifanye shughuli zingine huku. Jana usiku nikapata habari kwamba kakangu amezidiwa, ni mgonjwa zaidi sasa, na yuko katika hali ambayo si nzuri zaidi. Tukasema okay, acha tumuombee tu, Mungu atamsaidia. Tukalala. Asubuhi leo saa 3:30 nikapata habari, nikapigiwa simu kwamba kaka yetu Leonard Mambo amepumzika.
Daniel Mbotela, who lives in Mombasa, said his brother had been ailing for 2 weeks before his condition worsened.
Kwa kweli tulipata mshtuko sana, maana hatukutarajia, maana vile tulivyomwacha kwa anaendelea vizuri kupata nafuu kama tulivyokuwa tuambiwa, hatukutarajia kwamba jambo hili litokea ghafla hivyo, lakini ndivyo ilivyokuwa na tukapokea tu tukimshukuru Mungu kwa yote. Alikuwa anaugua maradhi ya pneumonia, alikuwa na low blood pressure, ndio kana msumbua sana, inapanda inashuka, inapanda inashuka, kucontrol ile ilikuwa shida sana, na pia madaktari anasema nao pia uzee.
At his home in Langata, Nairobi, a somber mood is evident. The family is spending the better part of the day in brief meetings, trying to come to terms with the loss.
Tutamkumbuka kwa mambo mengi kaka yetu, manake yeye ndiye alikuwa mkuu wetu wa kwanza, na yeye ndiye alikuwa anatufundisha mambo mengi zaidi discipline. Hata kipindi chake kile mnachojua cha ungwana ni kuhusu mambo yake. Akiona kitu ambacho si sawa anasema, akituona tufanya fujo anatuchapa, tukiwa wadogo anatupiga ngoto. Mambo ambayo alikuwa mtu alikuwa tukimheshimu sana kwa mambo kama hayo.
This loss perhaps replicated in the hearts of many Kenyans. President William Ruto led Kenyans in mourning Leonard Mbotela. The head of state eulogized the late Mbotela as a gifted and powerful broadcaster whose alluring voice dominated airwaves with first-class football commentaries and his signature program, Je Hu Ni Ungwana. Former Prime Minister Raila Odinga said Mbotela will be remembered as a dedicated public servant who spent his life informing, educating and entertaining Kenyans through his informative programs. Cabinet Secretary for ICT and Digital Economy William Kabogo described the late Mbotela, and I quote, "Leonard Mbotela was not just a journalist, he was a pioneer who shaped the broadcasting industry through his iconic program Je Hu Ni Ungwana. His voice resonated with generations, providing not only information but also helping to define the media landscape as we know it today." The Principal Secretary, ICT and Digital Economy, Edward Kisiangani, described the late Mbotela as a trailblazer who elevated Swahili journalism to an art form. His voice became synonymous with truth, clarity and authenticity, inspiring generations of media practitioners. Ambassador Ababu Namwamba, Ambassador and Permanent Representative of Kenya, the United Nations office at Nairobi, said Mbotela was more than a broadcaster. He was a teacher, a patriot, and a mentor to many in the media industry and beyond. Kenya Broadcasting Corporation Managing Director Agnes Nguna, on behalf of the organization, paid tribute to Mbotela, describing him as a true legend in our industry. She noted that the celebrated broadcaster left an indelible mark in the hearts and minds of many through his Je Hu Ni Ungwana program and will forever be remembered and cherished. KBC Editor-in-Chief Samuel Maina described Mbotela as a powerful and authoritative voice in broadcasting, saying, and I quote, "I cherished the many times I interacted with him, both inside and outside the broadcasting house. He was full of wisdom, illuminating energy, and was a very humble man." At the broadcasting house, this remains one of the heirlooms that we will remember the late Leonard Mbotela, a legend that once walked these corridors, guided, taught, and inspired many across the media fraternity. Nyanza for Easy Friday at the broadcasting house, Nairobi.
Thank you very much, Nyanza. Kenya Broadcasting Corporation's family and the media fraternity are mourning the death of veteran broadcaster Leonard Mbotela, whose career spanned over 60 years. Mbotela, who died on Friday morning aged 85 years, has been termed by former colleagues and close associates as a mentor and a man who was full of humor.
Yeye alikuwa mcheshi na alikuwa ni mtu ambaye anazungumza na kila mmoja. Akikutana na wewe atakusalamia, atataka kujua wewe ni nani, unafanya nini, na atakupa maneno mawili matatu ya mawaidha unapokutana na yeye.
Nakumbuka kwamba yeye hakuwa mtu wa kubagua. Halafu pili, alikuwa ni mtu mwazi, kwamba alipenda vijana, anakupa nafasi. Akiwa mkubwa wangu alinipa fursa, aliandika mengi mema kunihusu, na kwa ajili hiyo nikapata nafasi ya kwenda kufanya masomo ambaye hatimaye yalikuwa msingi wa pale nilipo sasa hivi katika tasnia hii ya utangazaji.
Nilikuwa nikimsikiliza nikiwa labda class 2. Yani niko shule ambapo bila shaka mtafikiria kwani ni vipi? Ndio mimi nilikuwa kwa class ya 2 nikiweza kumsikia Leonard Mambo akitangaza je huu ni ungwana. Na nilipokufika hapa kwa kweli katika miaka 70 kujiunga mimi hapa, kwa kweli tulikuja kwa ujiunga na yeye hasa, na mimi kwa kweli pia nilikuwa nikipenda sana utangazaji wa mpira.
Kwanza mimi alitambua kipawa changu nilipoanza kufanya kazi hapa. Alitambua kipawa changu kwa vile aliona mimi ni mtu napenda michezo, na alinikumbatia na akanionyesha njia hasa upande wa utangazaji wa mpira.
Nimefanya naye kazi, alikuwa ni mtu mcheshi, mtu mwaminifu, akitoa ahadi yake anaitimiza.
Alikuwa akinichunga sana nifanye kazi kwa bidii, ananihimiza kabisa.
Tutaomba pengine serikali kama wanaweza kufanya mipango waiangalie familia yake, kwa sababu amechangia pakubwa sana katika hili taifa katika mambo ya broadcasting. So serikali ichukue jukumu, iangalie familia ya Leonard Mambo, isaidie kwa pale mahali ambao watakuwa na hitaji msaada zaidi.
Leonard Mbotela is a name synonymous with Kenyan radio and television. His career spanned 6 decades, during which he became a household name and one of the most recognizable voices in Kenya's broadcasting history. Marie Yambo gives us a snippet into his life as a broadcaster.
Leonard Mambo Mbotela.
Leonard Mbotela was born on the 29th of May 1940 in Freetown, Mombasa County. He began his education at Freetown Primary School and later at Buxton Primary School before joining Kitui Boys High School in 1962. While in school, the young Mbotela developed a passion for broadcasting. After completing his secondary education, he embarked on a career as a print journalist. His journey into broadcasting began in 1964 when he joined the then Voice of Kenya, now the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, marking the start of a career that spanned 6 decades. Mbotela hosted various radio programs including Salamu za Vijana na Uhalifu Haulipi Chochote, but it is his signature radio program launched in 1966.
Je, ni ungwana.
Kama nilivyosema ni kwamba unapoingia katika bar, madhumuni makubwa ni kujipatia kinywaji chako.
A show that delved into societal issues and sought to engage listeners on morality and social behavior that made him a household name.
Kwana kweli, nauliza kuwa na tabia kama hizo.
The program went on to become the longest-running radio show in the Kenyan media industry and continues on KBC Radio Taifa to this day. Known for his distinctive voice and insightful commentary, Mbotela also became a well-loved figure in the world of sports broadcasting with his ability to bring the game of football to life for millions of listeners.
hapo kupatia mwenzake ambaye ni Masika anakwenda, Masika anapaswa, Masika piga mkwaju.
However, it was his role during the dramatic events of the 1982 coup attempt to overthrow President Daniel Arap Moi that forever etched his name in the Kenyan history. The situation was later stabilized by the GSU and regular police led by Major General Mahmoud Mohammed.
Colleagues, we are being attacked by the loyal forces. Yeah? Maana naona wametoka wote wamekimbia huko na huko, wameniacha pale peke yangu. Mahmoud Mohammed amekuja mbio kabisa. Leonard kaambia, yes sir, get in the studio quick. Kaingia pale studio, alikuwa na askari wenzake kama 20. Kaketi pale, akanambia sema kwamba wale walikuwa na vijana tu walevi wa Kenya Air Force, serikali ya Moi bado iko hivi na hivi. Kaambia, yes sir.
In 1997, after over 50 years in the industry, Mbotela retired from service but continued to produce and present his program. In September 2022, Mbotela was appointed to serve as a member of the National Heroes Council. The same year, he also published his memoir, Je, Hu ni Ungwana? Leonard Mbotela also loved music and would perform live on stage from time to time. His contribution to Kenya's media scene cannot be overstated. He was not just a broadcaster, he was an institution, an icon whose voice and presence will be remembered for years to come. Maria Ambo reporting for Easy Friday.
May his soul rest in peace. Let's now switch gears to political matters, where President William Ruto has vowed to deal decisively with the drug barons in Isiolo and Marsabit counties. While speaking on his last development tour of the northern Kenya region in Isiolo County, the head of state warned that those who want to ruin the lives of Kenyans have no place in society. The president directed security agencies to seal all loopholes exploited by the racketeers for their illicit trade.
Isiolo County was President William Ruto's last stop of his developmental tour of the northern Kenya region. The head of state used the groundbreaking ceremony for the Isiolo County Aggregation, an industrial park, to address one of the challenges facing the residents of the devolved unit.
Hapa Isiolo, Marsabit, tumekuwa na matatizo ya watu kutoka nchi nyingine wanalete madawa ya kulevya hapa, wanauzia watoto wetu. Mimi nataka niwaambie hawa wenye kuuza madawa tutawasafirisha.
The president noting that the drug menace is taking a toll on young people.
Hakuna mtu atatoka nje ya Kenya akuje hapa aseme ya kwamba madawa itauzwa tauni hii. Hakuna madawa itauzwa Isiolo, na mujaribu mutaona.
The head of state also drummed up support for key government projects currently underway in the devolved unit.
Na mimi nataka niwaambie ya kwamba maneno ya vitisho pelekea watu wengine. Maneno ya vitisho pelekea watu wengine. Hii Isiolo mimi nitajenga.
Rais akiwa Wajia aliweka sahihi ya kusema kijana wa Isiolo, kijana wa Kiembu na Northern Kenya wote watapewa ID bila veti.
Ruto directed security operators in the devolved unit and the neighboring Marsabit County to be high on alert. The head of state, who was accompanied by a number of cabinet secretaries and local leadership, also inspected the Isiolo Affordable Housing Project and the Export Abattoir. Earlier, the president also inspected the 257-kilometer Lamu-Ijara-Garissa road, which is part of the Lapset corridor.
Na hiyo barabara tumeweka pesa ya serikali bilioni 100 kutengeneza hiyo barabara, na hii barabara kutoka hapa mpaka ifike pale Modogashe itakamilika ikifika mwaka ujao. Ndio nyinyi mnaweza kusafiri bila ya matatizo, ndio Kenya hii tuweze kubadilisha kwa miradi na mipango ya maendeleo.
Abdiaziz Hashim for Easy Friday.
Now, the High Court has declared Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance as the bona fide majority alliance in the National Assembly. In a landmark decision, a three-judge bench led by Justices John Chigeti, Jarius Nga, and Lawrence Mugambi ruled that Kenya Kwanza is not the majority party in Kenya's National Assembly, stating that the Speaker of the National Assembly violated the Constitution in making the controversial determination in 2022.
The Neo coalition had the largest number of members, followed by Kenya Kwanza.
It is a blow to Kenya Kwanza and a chance of decision made by Speaker Moses Wetangula in 2022. The decision by 3 High Court judges comes from a decision dating October 6, 2022, when 14 members from various parties were assigned to Kenya Kwanza, which favored the coalition, enabling it to claim the majority status. However, on Friday, the court found that the Speaker had no justifiable basis for the reassignments and coerced the decision.
It is hereby declared that the Honorable Speaker's ruling or determination from the Chair on 6th October 2022 with respect to leadership of the National Assembly on account of his determination of the majority party and minority party in the National Assembly is contrary to and violated Article 108 of the Constitution. To that extent, it is null and void.
I have a further communication.
Speaker Wetangula in 2022 said Kenya Kwanza had 179 members in the House against Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Parties 157.
An order of certiorari is hereby issued quashing the Honorable Speaker's ruling or determination contained in his communication from the Chair made on 6th October 2022 on the majority and minority party in the National Assembly.
Delivering the unanimous judgment, the judges said the Speaker's role is to act as a neutral arbiter, independent of political pressures. Consequently, the court said that being the leader of Ford Kenya, Moses Wetangula undermines his role as a Speaker of National Assembly.
We thus hold and find that the simultaneous holding of the position of the Speaker with that of leader of a political party and the leadership positions in the ruling party coalition, as in the case with the current National Assembly Speaker, Honorable Moses Wetangula, who is the leader of Ford Kenya and holder of key position in Kenya Kwanza coalition, reasonably evokes appearance of bias and undermines its neutrality role as the Speaker of the National Assembly and the independence of Parliament as a symbol of democracy, negatively impacting on our democratic standards as envisaged by the rule of law principle under Article 10(2)(a) of the Constitution. This dual role is therefore unlawful and unconstitutional.
The bench at the same time ruled that the dual role played by Wetangula in the August House is unlawful and unconstitutional. Letua Debra for Easy Friday.
Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki says the Kenya Kwanza government will fight the negative perception surrounding the social health care program at the expense of its popularity to ensure that Taifa Care works. Speaking in Kisumu County, the Deputy President said the government is working to perfect the new health insurance regime. Kindiki was addressing stakeholders at the Nyanza International Investment Conference, where he promised to champion the economic needs of the Lakeside region.
The government says there is an elaborate political scheme to scuttle the Social Health Authority and render it incapable of driving Kenya's universal healthcare agenda.
President Uhuru in his second term had the Big Four agenda. UHC was one of them. The same politics came and truncated the program President Uhuru pulled back. This time round we have said we will fight through to make sure we get universal health coverage through.
Professor Kindiki said unseen work has been done to ensure macroeconomic stability and defended the previous regime against accusation of running down the economy.
What affected Kenya's macroeconomic stability was mainly the pandemic of 2020-2021, which was a global pandemic. For a year and a half, we were all shut in, we were simply locked up in our houses. There was no economic activity.
The Deputy President was speaking at the Nyanza International Investment Conference, where he pledged that the national government would partner with the region's economic bloc to address the needs of the region. The conference is being used as a platform to promote the region as an investment hub.
Your Excellency, investors, everybody, karibuni sana Homa Bay.
Nyanza, it is Kisii.
Migori County is strategic because it is the only county in Kenya that has a functional border with Tanzania.
Stakeholders challenged the region to engage in progressive politics to spur economic growth.
Here in Nyanza, the reality has previously been that resources follow voting patterns. This may be our past, but it cannot be our future. The people of Nyanza deserve better.
Leaders from the region called for the extension of the standard gauge railway to Kisumu and the construction of the Soin, Koru and the Bonyunyu dams to boost trade and agriculture. For Easy Friday, I am Edward Kabasa.
And that report by our very own reporter Kabasa takes us to our fast break right here on Easy Friday. Don't go too far. I'll be right back with more.
Inuka na Lotomoto 2025 ni kuchinua full kashamba kajuja mali safi worth 1.7 million Kenyan shillings na kamejiset kwa *570 hash na tushinde.com. Na ukiwai sahau landlord, unaongezewa 1 million Kenyan shillings ya kujenga kwa shamba yako. Sema kuinuka na bado kuna nini hiyo side nyingine? Hapa ndio mwisho. Weekly ya chapa bado iko na zawadi pia ni za kukuinua. Iko Probox new model moja ya kipekee tayari kukuserve kwa biashara yako ya 2025. Iko Macadamia, kitu safi and sleek, ready kukuserve kwa machaji yako ya hapa na pale. Cheza mara kadhaa na uweze kujipatia entry tickets kibao na uboost chance yako ya kujishindia kwenye draw zetu. Na kama kawaida tutakubishia mahali popote uliko tukufikishie ushindi wako. Kila kona imejazwa kwa *570 hash option 2, 3 na 4 na tushinde.com na kwako ni kuinuka na Lotomoto.
Nabii Stephen Juma ameandaa ibada ya kuvunja madhabahu ya kijamii. Usikose Jumapili hii. Utaratibu wa ibada ni kama ifuatavyo: saa 12 asubuhi, ibada ya kuombea wagonjwa. Kisha ibada ya kuvunja madhabahu ya kijamii itaanza mwendo wa saa 4 mchana. Jengeni madhabahu ya Mwenyezi Mungu. Kumbuka, kanisa lapatikana Komarok Stage 18, nyuma ya Ruby's Petrol Station, kando ya Accurate Schools.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. For those joining us right now, this is Easy Friday. Our sign language interpreter is Anne Wangeshi. We proceed. The government will enhance the Climate Works project by increasing its workforce from the current 20,000 to 50,000 to accelerate the cleanup of Nairobi's key rivers. Interior and National Administration Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen, while launching the Ngong River Cleanup Initiative in Mukuru wa Ruben, said the increase in the number of Kenyans working to reclaim riparian lands will also fast-track the restoration of Mathare, Nairobi and Ngong rivers.
Interior and National Administration Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen, accompanied by Interior Principal Secretary Raymond Omolo, were in Mukuru kwa Ruben to launch an expanded climate works project that will now employ an extra 30,000 Kenyans to clean up rivers in Nairobi.
Ndio unaona Mheshimiwa Rais amesema tusafishe Nairobi River. Tuhakikishe ya kwamba tumelete barabara nzuri. Tuhakikishe ya kwamba hapa tumeweka mambo ya tunasema nini, drainage, ambayo ya kutoa uchafu yote ili maviwanda na nyumba zote penye watu wanaishi, ile waste ambayo inatoka hapo isiende ikawekwa kwa mto iumize watu.
The Climate Works project involves removing waste, rehabilitating degraded riverbanks, and planting trees along the waterways. The government also plans to increase the daily stipend for workers, which currently stands at 500 shillings.
Mmesema mambo zingine zinahitajika. Ya kwanza ni mambo ya hiyo marupurupu, na ya pili ni tuongeze idadi ya watu wenye wanafanya kwa hii program ya climate works. So in another 1 month tutakuwa tumepanga hiyo mambo na tutaongeza idadi ya watu wenye wanafanya kwa program ya climate works. Mheshimiwa Rais amenituma kusema kwamba wale watafanya kazi katika mito hii wataongezwa kutoka watu 20,000 mpaka watu 50,000.
The move to restore Mathare, Nairobi and Gong rivers is part of the government's broader environmental conservation strategy while creating thousands of green jobs for Kenyans. Gishuk Washira, Easy Friday.
Foreign Affairs ministers from the East African Community and South African Development Community have proposed the merger of the African Union-led Luanda process and EAC-led Nairobi process to eliminate overlapping elements for effective resolution of the conflict situation in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, calling for a ceasefire. The meeting also agreed that all warring parties should be brought to the negotiation table.
Ministers of Foreign Affairs from both the East African Community and South African Development Community gathered in Arusha, Tanzania on Friday to kickstart talks on resolving the conflict in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Co-chaired by Musalia Mudavadi in his capacity as Kenya's Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretary and chair of the EAC Foreign Ministers Caucus, and his Zimbabwean counterpart, Professor Amon Murwira, who is also chair of SADC Council of Ministers, the meeting agreed that there is need for concerted effort to ending the conflict.
Within the EAC, we noted that the twin processes exhibit both converging and complementing and interdependent elements, hence the need to have the processes working closely together.
And we should seize the opportunity so that we make a sure start to a process for ensuring permanent peace in our region, starting with the eastern part of the DRC.
Musalia said Kenya wants all stakeholders brought to the negotiating table.
As we give dialogue a chance, and indeed we must, there is need for all parties in the DRC to respect international law and ensure the safety of diplomatic assets and personnel within the country.
We have therefore a familial duty to appeal to the hearts of the parties to the conflict to give peace a chance.
The ministers calling for immediate ceasefire, urging the warring factions to give dialogue a chance, saying thousands of innocent lives have been lost.
Indeed, this is a situation that demands our immediate and sustained attention. In this way, we aim to respond in a timely manner to the immediate concerns of peace, humanitarianism, human security, and sustainable development.
The forum lays the ground for a meeting of heads of state from both the EAC and SADC on Saturday to be co-chaired by President William Ruto. Giverson Maina, Easy Friday.
Moving on, Kenyans who have successfully secured jobs overseas will have to be subjected to pre-departure training on work ethics before they report to their workstations. Cabinet Secretary for Labour and Social Protection, Dr. Alfred Mutua, says a section of Kenyans working abroad have displayed questionable character, leading to job losses. Dr. Mutua made the remarks in Kisumu as he presided over the National Recruitment Program. Wycliffe Okech reports.
Kenyans seeking jobs overseas are being cautioned to display proper work ethic or risk losing their jobs. Labour and Social Protection Cabinet Secretary Dr. Alfred Mutua says that poor attitude among Kenyans is threatening the success of the National Recruitment Program.
We are having it very difficult trying to convince countries to take Kenyans. So young people, we have to behave because tunachomea wengine. Unaenda kule unaharibia wengine. Sasa nikiona attitude yako ni mbaya ukiwa Kenya, Sitakubali uende ng'ambo uchomee wengine.
To address this emerging challenge, successful job applicants will now be subjected to pre-departure training on work ethic.
So part of our pre-departure training now has to include attitude.
Regarding the confusion that seems to have gripped the recruitment exercise, Dr. Mutua says his ministry will continually issue updates on where and when the recruitment will be conducted on a need basis.
If you're looking for work and you don't know we post it, then kuna shida. You're not, lazima keep to breaking news. We do what is going on. So we'll announce, and I'm going to announce a new program for the entire country when I've streamlined the system so that people get an opportunity.
Meanwhile, job seekers in the larger Nyanza region have been encouraged to report to the National Industrial Training Authority Kisumu offices on Saturday to apply for the 2,000 foreign job openings available.
So I want to ask the young people of Nyanza, from Kisii, Migori, from Siaya, Homa Bay, from Kisumu City and others, there are thousands and hundreds of thousands of young people without jobs. Come and try your luck.
For Is Friday from Kisumu County, I am Wycliffe Okech.
Bomet Governor Hilary Barchok says he is an innocent man and investigations by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission will vindicate him. Barchok, who received a warm welcome back to the county by his supporters after a day of grilling by EACC officials in Nakuru County, said he will cooperate with the investigating authorities to clear his name.
Traffic snarl-ups characterized Bomet town on Friday as Bomet Governor Hilary Barchok motorcade snaked into the town from Nakuru County, where he was grilled by the EACC officials over corruption allegations. The governor was arrested on Thursday by the anti-corruption officials at his home in Bomet over suspected embezzlement of public funds amounting to 1.4 billion shillings. The governor told his supporters he's clean and no money was lost from the county coffers.
And I want to assure you that at the end of this process of investigation, I will be vindicated that hii mambo ilikuwa mambo ya siasa ambayo inafanywa na watu.
He, however, committed to cooperate with the investigating agency to have the matter closed.
Ningependa kuwapongeza hao officers because they were so professional kwa kazi yao. And I want to promise, because nataka haki itendeke na haki itendeke kwa watu wa Bomet, lazima nishirikiane na hawa ndio mjue ukweli uko wapi.
Barchok is among 9 senior county officials and 2 contractors under EACC radar for corruption allegations. Give us Minor, Easy Friday.
The Ministry of Public Service, Performance and Delivery Management has developed a post-retirement medical scheme for public servants. Principal Secretary, State Department for Public Service, Amos Gadesha, says they are in talks with the Social Health Authority to discuss how the post-retirement medical scheme can be anchored in it. Gadesha spoke during a retirement party for 18 officers.
So we are discussing with SHA, Social Health Authority. We see how now we can anchor it there. The Treasury has already given us some money, 500 million shillings, which is in my ministry, which will be used as seed capital in that post-retirement medical scheme. And that one is coming very soon. We are developing what we are calling an emeritus policy, which is going to be used to be bringing them back to assist the government in specific areas where we need their expertise, because in their own right, they're experts in the fields that they were in.
Food insecurity, safety issues, housing problems, and the absence of reliable and affordable infrastructure have been cited as the main challenges facing a majority of low-income earners living in urban cities. Speaking during the launch of the Nairobi City Report, African Cities Research Consortium stakeholders emphasized the need for collaborations amongst stakeholders to address these issues in the face of rapid urbanization.
Low-income urban residents are battling a myriad of challenges, ranging from decent housing to functional infrastructure. Speaking during the launch of the Nairobi City Report by African Cities Research Consortium, key speakers emphasized the need for concerted effort in order to address these problems.
The mainstream urban development that is championed by the county government as well as the state government looks in the direction that experts come from elsewhere to inform and plan. So I would really appeal to the county government and its leadership to appreciate, recognize and value different ways of knowing, to appreciate, recognize and value local experts, to appreciate, recognize and value emerging innovations from the bottom, and deliberately mainstream them into the governance planning.
According to the report, 85% of households in informal settlements are food insecure, and there's a need for the government to extend the school feeding program in private schools found in such settings.
Bulk of the children in Nairobi City attend informal schools, and therefore there's need for you to relook, or rather would like to ask the Nairobi County to relook at how do they address this gap of reaching also the children in informal schools with healthy diets.
With over 90% of Nairobi residents being tenants, Rosbella Apollo, the program officer, emphasized the need to bring rental housing to the forefront of Kenya's housing agenda.
Unfortunately, a lot of policy focuses on ownership, and therefore this group is almost left behind and left unprotected, hence need to have a renters housing policy to address this market.
Speakers also call for the need to re-examine informal enterprises, which contribute to approximately 85% of Nairobi's economy.
The cost of doing business has also gone up. So besides the high cost of doing business, the registration processes, there are several documentations that are needed for one to run one business. If we could have policies that could ease doing business, then that perhaps would spark growth of the business enterprises.
Kasichana Masha, Easy Friday.
The National Police Service says Saddam Bouke, a businessman based in Isiolo County, is in their custody, contrary to claims circulating on social media that he had been abducted by unknown people. Now, according to a statement by police spokesperson Mushiri Nyaga, Bouke was arrested in the ongoing Operation Ondoa Jangili, targeting criminal elements in Marsabit and Isiolo counties. He is suspected to be a key facilitator of the Oromo Liberation Army, an illegal outfit running criminal activities in Isiolo and Marsabit counties. Bouke and others arrested are expected to be arraigned in court. "68 students from St. Thomas Aquinas Igumori Secondary School in Mbeere South, Embu County, are receiving treatment in various hospitals in the region after consuming meat suspected to be contaminated. Details on this and other stories making headlines in our county news roundup.
The affected students, who are all in Form 4, developed severe stomach pains and diarrhea after meals, prompting the school management to rush them to hospital. 5 of the students have been transferred to Embu Level 5 Hospital for further treatment. St. Thomas Aquinas Igumori Secondary School Principal Paul Moniki confirmed that only Form 4 students were affected.
Leo asubuhi tulipata kesi ya wanafunzi 68 kutoka Igumori Secondary School. Walikuwako wamechinja ndume kwa shule, wakakula nyama. Nikaambiwa na mwalimu mkuu walikunywa supu na nyama ya kichwa jana usiku, lakini waligonjeka wote. Nilifurahi kwa sababu tuliweza kuwahudumia wale watoto wote isipokuwa 3 ndio tumetuma kwa rifaro pale Embu Level 5. Na wahudumu wa afya katika hii hospitali wamefanya kazi mzuri, kwa sababu mimi nilikuwa kwa hapa kutoka asubuhi na nimeona hawa watoto wameshughulikiwa vizuri, na hata mwalimu mkuu ameconfirm watoto wameshughulikiwa vizuri.
In Nairobi County, educationists are calling for collaborative efforts to enhance the skills of persons with disabilities for economic empowerment and overall well-being. The call was made during a sports day organized by the Gertrude's Hospital Foundation in partnership with Sanlam Kenya PLC in Nairobi, targeting differently abled children from various regions.
The program was looking at inclusion, bringing the children with various disabilities to the open, to be able to participate in activities that boost their confidence, their social interaction, and make them better placed to fit into various environments, including the workplace. So this is one of those examples of how children can come, meet others, interact, and generally improve their social interaction skills.
Meanwhile, residents of Kiambere Ward in Mbeere South Embu County have called on the government to increase support for orphan children and provide relief food, citing the devastating effects of poor harvest in the semi-arid region.
Kiambere kuna ngumu, chakula ikui vizuri, bado kuna ngumu wa kimaisha. Tunaomba hata kama ni mswada kutoka kwa serikali kuu, tunaomba watuteremshie huku Kiambere kuna ngumu. So tunaomba serikali kama inawezekana mtuongezee kiwango fulani, kwa sababu wazazi tunaumia kung'ang'ana na fees na mahitaji mengine ya watoto.
And Busia County, in collaboration with Makueni County, has initiated a long-term plan to strengthen the management and supervision of development projects in the region.
This system provides an opportunity for everybody in the county government to be able to know what is happening in all sectors of the government matters projects, and they can give the government feedback on the quality of the projects that is being delivered at the villages, and ensure that the contractors are put on check to ensure that these projects are delivered on time and on scope.
Elsewhere, a family in Butere Sub-County, Kakamega County, is in distress, searching for their loved one who was allegedly abducted by unidentified armed individuals in early December last year.
Tuko na hofu hao watu walikuwa maofisa ama walikuwa ni wategaji nyara wa watu. Tafadhali naomba serikali mtusaidie kutafuta ama mtusaidie na OB namba ili tuwezeshe kutafuta penye mume wetu alienda.
Finally, a section of women from Mandera County has called for collective efforts to end female genital mutilation, which continues to affect young girls in the region despite the practice being outlawed.
Tungependa kuhimiza raia wa Mandera tuungane na dunia mzima tuweze kusimamisha hiki kato, kwa vile madhara yake ni mingi kwa wasichana. Sisi kama madaktari tumeona wasichana wakiumia mara nyingi sana, wanavuja damu, wanapata infection, wakija kujifungua taabu yao ni nyingi. So leo tuungamane mkono, tushikamane, tuweze kukomesha kikato hii ya wasichana, ili wasichana wetu wawe kama wasichana wengine ulimwenguni.
Christine Matunda for Easy Friday.
Hello, hello, hello. The government.
Here we go.
Cheer your favorite team and win big on MeChezoBet.com. Casino, Aviator, and other crash games also available at MeChezobet. Sign up today. This message has been approved by BCLB license number 664. Gambling can be addictive. Play responsibly. Terms and conditions apply.
We want to talk about money matters, but above all, the mindset that a man ought to have when they are dealing with money.
They need to know that, you need to learn how to cut your costs.
Okay.
And learn that it doesn't come easy. Investing in yourself is something that you can use. It's the best thing, the best way to use your money fast.
A very good evening to you. Thank you for keeping it easy Friday. Time for the business news. My name is Betty Kiptum. Now, the government is working closely with Kenya Airways to streamline processes and ensure seamless integration of the Fly Kenya policy. Office of the Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service Principal Administrative Secretary, that is Arthur Osia, says the Fly Kenya policy positions the airline as a key enabler of efficient public service delivery by ensuring government officials access enhanced and affordable travel solutions.
Fly Kenya policy was introduced in 2016, prioritizing Kenya Airways as the preferred airline for air travel by officials in government agencies. However, its implementation has struggled with low compliance, currently at about 30%.
While previous attempts to implement the policy for government travel has not always succeeded, we are determined to learn from the past. We recognize the contributing factors, including the need for more robust enforcement mechanisms.
In addition, the airline faces challenges receiving pay for services rendered. Kenya Airways officials say the airline is owed over 840 million shillings by the various state agencies.
We are quite happy with the efforts that we've seen enforcing compliance, which should push the compliance from the current 30% to roughly 60 to 70%. This would drive higher revenue share on Kenya Airways, which will, of course, allow Kenya Airways to be more financially stable.
We appreciate the government for ceding the opportunity to engage with them to get their feedback, which we have documented, and we shall be following up with the government in the interest of ensuring that the policy has the buy-in that it desires, but most importantly, if there are areas of improvement.
Government officials say they are working closely with the airline to address issues such as high air ticket costs and unavailable flight schedules, which have slowed adoption of Kenya Airways as the preferred air transport service provider for government officials.
The public service is determined to work hand in hand with Kenya Airways to ensure the Fly Kenya policy achieves its full potential.
Kenya Airways is expected to integrate with the financial and operational travel information management system to enhance transparency and efficiency. Alan Auko, Easy Friday.
Now, tax incentives should be offered to fortification equipment and fortified rice imports to enhance nutrition without passing the additional cost to consumers. Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology Agriculture Principal Professor Daniel Silla says despite rice being among cereals earmarked for fortification, only one miller has installed a fortification line due to high cost. Rice is the third most consumed cereal in Kenya, after maize and wheat, with consumption growing at the rate of 12% annually.
But I think long term we need the government to look at mechanisms of supporting industry through tax waivers to ensure that actually the fortified rice kernels are tax free. We can also establish government-supported manufacturing units which are located in the main hubs of that produce a lot of rice. So Mwea could be a potential where we could have one company actually doing the production of fortified rice kernel.
It's consumed across, be it children, be it the adults. In any home today you go to, you'll find that at least in a week, people are consuming rice 3 to 4 times. So that's the basis where we really thought that it's important to also now start fortifying our rice.
Fortification is a cost-effective and scalable solution that really helps, especially those who are at the bottom of the pyramid.
The Agriculture and Food Authority is warning individuals and companies involved in the harvesting, handling, trading and processing of macadamia to desist from dealing with immature or poor quality nuts into the supply chain. The Agriculture and Food Authority says such malpractices threaten the industry's integrity and offenders risk having their licenses suspended or revoked.
Kenya's macadamia industry is highly export-driven,
with about 95% of annual production destined for international markets. To safeguard quality and maintain global market standards, the government has in the past implemented seasonal harvesting bans and stringent export guidelines. And now, the Agriculture and Food Authority is cracking down on unscrupulous players, processors and traders harvesting immature macadamia nuts, those reintroducing low-quality nuts into the supply chain, and those engaged in smuggling in-shell macadamia out of the country. The Agriculture and Food Authority is reminding those involved in exports that all nuts and oil produce must pass through designated custom ports with export permits obtained electronically via the Kentrade TFP single window system. Additionally, the law requires that macadamia nuts must only be harvested, handled, and processed when they have reached full physiological maturity. To enforce compliance, Agriculture and Food Authority, in collaboration with the county governments, law enforcement agencies, and other stakeholders, is ramping up surveillance across macadamia growing regions, aggregation centers, processing facilities, and exit points. Those found violating the law risk having their license suspended or revoked and could face prosecution.
Now, Vivo Energy Kenya Managing Director Peter Murungi has dismissed claims questioning the quality of fuel supplied at Shell-branded petrol stations, assuring that the company adheres to quality control measures. This comes after a content creator over the weekend said his tests of fuel from different service stations revealed that some were selling fuel with a lower octane level. Murungi says the company follows a multi-stage testing process to ensure that every batch of fuel meets regulatory and international benchmarks. He says all Shell service stations source their fuel from the same supply chain to eliminate discrepancies in product quality.
At our station and lying to Kenyans about an equipment that does not meet standard or a process that does not meet standard, they have fooled a lot of my customers. That in Nairobi we have done 10 service stations plus, and we've done in third-party service laboratory, they are all okay. And they have all reflected that the same octane number we are talking is what is in our tank. What you did not see is we have also taken our tanks so they match. So that's what makes us feel that what we have out there, and I can assure customers, absolutely no doubt, it meets the minimum standards across the country.
Moving on, there is need for financial institutions to align with international best practices to enhance operational efficiency and service delivery. Speaking when receiving an ISO certification, Kenya Police Deposit-Taking SACCO chairperson David Mategwa said the SACCO plans to have an integrated system where they bring on board information system security and business continuity planning under ISO standards as well.
We want our members to believe in the organization, that when they come, they will get more improvement as they come. That's why we always want to be audited with so that we improve on our policies, systems, how we deliver our services to our members.
Within the period starting this year, within the period of the 3 years starting this year, we will be overhauling our processes, our standard operating procedures, because we also understand that we have issues around the environment. So in the new standard, as we overhaul, we will be focusing largely into the issues related to the environment, issues of climate change, so that we are also going to adopt in our processes.
And that is where we close the business news this evening. Of course, sports news is coming up with Daniel Wahome. My name is Betty Kiptum. Do enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.
Inuka na Tomato 2025 ni kuchinua full kashamba kajuja mali safi. safi worth 1.7 million Kenyan shillings na kamejiset kwa star 570 hash na tushinde.com. Na ukiwahi sahau landlord, unaongezewa 1 million Kenyan shillings ya kujenga kwa shamba yako. Sema kuinuka na bado kuna nini hiyo side nyingine? Hapa ndio mwisho. Weekly draw ya chapa bado iko na zawadi pia ni za kukuinua. Iko Probox new model moja ya kipekee tayari kukuserve kwa biashara yako ya 2025. Iko Macadamia, kitu safi and sleek, ready kukuserve kwa machaji yako ya hapa na pale. Cheza mara kadhaa na uweze kujipatia entry tickets kibao na uboost chance yako ya kujishindia kwenye draw zetu. Na kama kawaida tutakubishia mahali popote uliko tukufikishie ushindi wako. Kila kona imejazwa kwa star 570 hash option 2, 3 na 4 na tushinde.com na kwako ni kuinuka na Loto Moto.
You realize Kikara akijua vile unafanya atakupeleka mbio sana.
You should be thanking me for taking care of this situation.
We've already done enough harm.
There is no we. What?
Sio lazima mbose.
Blackie didn't kill himself, did he?
Kikara akijua hii story hata mimi naondolewa.
You are the law for crying out loud. Do you trust Dan and his boss?
You cannot trust dirty cops.
Be careful.
Your advice is saidia saizi. I found him at J&J.
Ulienda kufanya nini huko? You want me to ask you the same question twice?
Let me call you after an hour or so. Huh?
Huyo ni nani?
Ni simu za kazi tu. Can you tell me the reason why I'm here?
Loyalty cannot be taught.
Mi sielewi. I don't understand this story yote.
You must learn to be content with what you get.
A very good evening to you. My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to Easy Friday Sport. And the 2025 Magical Kenya Open was officially launched today by Sports Cabinet Secretary Salim Vuria, who presented a government sponsorship check worth 295 million Kenya shillings. The Magical Kenya Open Golf Tournament is a DP World Tour event which will feature 144 golfers battling for a share of the 320 million shillings prize money. At the official launch of the tournament, Sports Cabinet Secretary Salim Vuria reaffirmed the government's commitment to supporting the event as he presented the local organizing committee with a government sponsorship of 295 million shillings.
Our youth and amateurs this year have shown their prowess by topping the African charts, making Kenya the next golf powerhouse in Africa. As a ministry, we will continue to invest in golf development, giving our next generation opportunities to grow into world champions, and Magical Kenya is a critical brand.
The agenda that we have attached to this golf tournament is sports tourism. And this alignment with the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife is key in showcasing the diverse attractions Kenya has to offer.
The event will have a field of 144 golfers that will include 8 Kenyan professionals, 6 Kenyan amateurs, and 3 African pros will play a qualifier on the 17th of February.
We get a lot of attention from the European Tour because they really want Kenya to become a hub outside of South Africa and Morocco in the north for golf in the region. And therefore, they spend a lot of time coming in with us.
We hand over the course to you. We are handing it over on the 13th of February. Please take care of our course, as you have always done.
The prize fund for the event is 320 million shillings, which includes 64 million shillings from the title sponsors DP World. Now, the Sikh Union Hockey Men's and Mombasa Sports Club Hockey Women's teams lost their respective bronze medal matches by narrow margins today in the Africa Cup for club champions to miss out on medals in Ismailia, Egypt. Sikh Union went down 3-4 to Port Forward of Egypt in the men's third-place playoff match, while Mombasa Sports Club lost to Kada Queens of Nigeria by a solitary goal in the women's bronze medal encounter. Egypt's Aircraft Factory and Ghana Revenue Authority were crowned champions of the tournament, which began on the 30th of last month as the 9-day event came to an end today. Sharkia defeated their counterparts Aircraft Factory on post-match penalties after the two sides played out a 4-all draw to win the men's title, while Ghana Revenue Authority stunned Smuha Club of Egypt by 3-0 to win the women's title. Now, Kenya Police and Tusker FC will meet in a top-of-the-table clash at the Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos in one of the 4 FKF Premier League matches on the cards tomorrow. City Stars, Bandari and Gor Mahia will also be in action, with 5 more matches lined up for Saturday.
City Stars and Bidco United will meet tomorrow in the early kick-off encounter as they kickstart match day 20 of the season's FKF Premier League. City Stars and Bidco will play at Machakos Stadium, curtain-raising the big clash of the weekend between Kenya Police and Tusker FC.
It's a battle, it's a power play. It's not going to be easy because they are all at the bottom, but it's going to be a good game, I believe, and boys are ready for it. So I see a win.
Police and Tusker are tied on 37 points after playing 19 matches each and have everything to play for on match day 20 when they meet tomorrow in Machakos. Both sides will be looking for a win to move clear at the top of the table, heading into the last 14 matches of the season. The other 2 matches on Saturday will see Bandari host Sofapaka, while Gor Mahia visit Mathare United. On Sunday, KCB face Moranga Sil, Ulinzi Stars will play Kakamega Homeboys, Kariobangi Sharks will be away to AFC Leopards, Posta Rangers will play Shabana FC, while Mara Sugar end the weekend fixtures against FC Talanta.
Now moving on across our borders is that Kenya's top amateur golfer Michael Karanga is joined 3rd after round 3 of the RNA Africa Amateur Championship that is being hosted at the Par 72 Leopard Creek Country Club in Malilani, South Africa. Karanga, who was joined 2nd going into day 3, had 3 birdies in the first 9 that were written off by a quintuple bogey at the Par 4 10th hole that saw him card 2 over Par 74 for the day and a total of 4 under Par 212. South Africa's Brian Newman tops the leaderboard on 10 under Par 216 after a round of 4 under Par 68, while Roloff Craig is 2nd 5 shots behind. Jondre Ludic is joined 3rd. The Africa Amateur Championships come to a close tomorrow. Meanwhile, Chanel Wangari finished 4th at the Africa Women's Invitational Championship with a score of 12 over Par 228. The event was won by South Africa's Gia Rad, who had a score of 4 under Par 212, with her compatriots Bobby Brown and Lisa Kutzer taking 2nd and 3rd places, respectively.
Into this event not so confident with my game, so I'm so proud of myself and I'm really grateful to be here. And just last year, just how amazing this event was, I knew I had to come back and try again.
And Liverpool overturned a 1-0 deficit at Anfield to beat Tottenham Hotspur 4-0 and booked their final place in the Carabao Cup against Newcastle United at the Wembley Stadium, where they will be defending their title on the 16th of March this year. Liverpool opened the score sheet in the 34th minute through Cody Gakpo before Mohamed Salah added a 2nd goal via penalty 5 minutes into the second half. Dominic Szoboszlai consolidated their lead with a 3rd goal in the 75th minute, and 5 minutes later, Virgil van Dijk cemented Spurs' fate with a header from Mark Allister's corner kick to ensure the 4-1 aggregate win.
Salah against Kinski and scores brilliantly. Was there ever a doubt? Bradley, what a run onto Szoboszlai. Brilliant from Liverpool. Absolutely brilliant from Liverpool. One more seals it for Liverpool. It's another ball. Oh, there it is. It's Virgil van Dijk, the man who won the League Cup for Liverpool last season, seals their place.
And that's the sport for tonight. It's a day, I think, This is, well, let me just steal a minute or so and say that I would like to pay tribute to the late Leonard Mbotela, somebody that I worked with in different instances. He was my senior so much, working with him in a boxing commentary and also hosting a Legends event. And turns out that at that Legends event, the Legends wanted to have photos with him even before the event started. But that's the man that he was, commentated when Kenya won the SACCO Senior Challenge Cup 3 times in a row, did a lot of work, just sort of sports, but at the end of the day, I think the most important thing for us to do is to remember the legacy that he taught us, and it was about being modest and also ensuring that you've got the right morals all the time. And the phrase is ungwana. That is what everyone should do. And to the family of the late Leonard Mbotela, our condolences to you. My name is Daniel Wahome. Have a good evening. Back to you, Carren Kibbett.
And that brings us to the end of tonight's edition of Easy Friday. Thank you so much for staying with us. Remember, you can continue the conversation on our social media platforms. Share your thoughts on tonight's stories. Up next, DJ Cool Jacks is here with the Disco Funk Show, bringing new classic grooves to kickstart your weekend in style. Our sign language interpreter tonight has been Ann Wangeshi. I'm Carren Kibbett. Have a great night and an even better weekend. Good night.
Inuka na Lotomoto 2025 ni kujinua full kashamba kajuja mali safi worth 1.7 million Kenyan shillings na kamejiset kwa *570 hash na tushinde.com. Na ukiwahi sahau landlord, unaongezewa 1 million Kenyan shillings ya kujenga kwa shamba yako. Sema kuinuka na bado kuna nini hiyo side nyingine? Hapa ndio mwisho. Weekly draw ya chapa bado iko na zawadi pia ni za kuinua. Iko Probox new model moja ya kipekee tayari kukuserve kwa biashara yako ya 2025. Iko Macadamia, kitu safi and sleek, ready kukuserve kwa mahitaji yako ya hapa na pale. Cheza mara kadhaa na uweze kujipatia entry tickets kibao na uboost chance yako ya kujishindia kwenye draw zetu. Na kama kawaida tutakubishia mahali popote uliko tukufikishie ushindi wako. Kila kona imejazwa kwa *570 hash option 2, 3 na 4 na tushinde.com. Na kwako ni kuinuka na Lotomoto.